Good afternoon. Today I will be talking about too much or enough. Okay, let's start by talking about too. So, too can be used with nouns. If it's used with an uncountable noun, then we say too much plus uncountable noun. If it's countable, then we say too many plus countable noun. So, for example, he has too much candy. Here, the uncountable noun is candy. And then here we have a bakery. The bakery has too many loaves of bread. Here, loaves is a countable noun. Okay, moving forward now. Too can also be used as a pronoun. If it's too much, then it's an uncountable noun. If it's too many, it's a countable noun. So, for example, here, the same example with candy, but we say he has too much. Well, what is too much? Here, too much equals candy. Okay, and here's the bakery again, the same bakery. So we can say the bakery has too many. Too many what? Too many loaves. Okay, too many equals loaves. Okay, so you can see here how we can use too, much, or many as a pronoun. Moving on, too can also be used with adjectives, and it's usually too plus adjectives. So too comes before the adjectives. So, for example, the sleeves are too long. You can see in this picture that the boy's sleeves are too long. He barely has his hands out of the sweater. So the boy's sleeves are too long. Here, long is the adjective. Here we can see this boy. He's wearing clothes, probably his dad's clothes. So we can say dad's clothes are too big. Okay, again, here the adjective is big. Okay, now when we say too big, it means that it's more than enough. It's too much, too great. Okay, next, let's talk about adverbs now. Too can also be used with adverbs. When we use it with adverbs, too comes before the adverb. So an example here, we have a snail. The snail crawls too slowly. Okay, here slowly is my adverb. Okay, so you can see too comes before the adverb. Okay, moving forward, too can also be used with verbs. So for example, verb, and it usually follows the verb. So verb plus too much. Okay, and we use too much after the verb. Okay, has to be too much. So for example, he ate too much. Okay, ate too much. Here the verb is ate. Okay, let's move on now and let's talk about enough. When we say enough, we mean it's sufficient. Okay, it's sufficient. It's no more is needed and no less is needed. It's just perfect. Okay, let's look at an example here. Enough can be used with nouns. Usually, enough comes before the noun, and these can be both countable and uncountable. So we look at this girl. She looks mighty thirsty, very thirsty. We can say that she didn't drink enough water. Okay, the water she drank wasn't sufficient, wasn't perfect enough. She needs more water. Okay, here again you can see water is the uncountable noun. Okay, here we look at this gentleman here. He has turkey, fried chicken, potato chips, sausages, hamburgers, but he's missing something on his table. What is he missing? He's missing vegetables. So we can say that he doesn't eat enough vegetables. And here, vegetables is the countable noun, okay? So when we're saying he doesn't eat enough vegetables, he needs to eat more vegetables. It's not enough. Okay, so as you can see, enough can work with both uncountable and countable nouns, and it's enough plus nouns. Let's move forward now, and let's talk about how enough can be used as a pronoun. Okay, so for example, he didn't eat enough. Well, what is enough? Enough of what? Enough equals food. He didn't eat food. He didn't eat enough. Okay, let's move forward now. Here we're using the same examples, and we can also use enough, can also be used with an adjective. Usually, very important, the adjective will come before enough. So it's adjective plus enough. So let's look at some of our examples. Here, this bag, he went to the bank, he took out all his money, and he put all his money in one big bag. Was the bag enough? Yes, his bag was big enough. Okay, so you can see here, my adjective is big, and enough follows the adjective. So adjective plus enough, big enough. We had the same example here of the boy. Okay, the boy is too small for the sweater. We can say then that the boy is not big enough. He wasn't big enough for the sweater. The sweater was too big and he wasn't big enough. Okay, here the adjective is big. Okay, so as you can see, keep in mind, as you can see here, adjective plus enough. Enough comes after the adjective. We can also use enough with adverbs. When we do that, again, the adverb comes first, fast, enough, okay, adverb plus enough, okay. A good example of this, he didn't run fast enough. This gentleman didn't run fast enough, okay. What is fast? Fast is the adverb. And as you can see, enough comes after the adverb. So we need to put the adverb first. Okay, next, enough can also be used with verbs. Look at this boy. He got a bad score on his history test. He didn't study enough, we can say. Okay, he didn't study enough. Okay, and as you can see, the verb comes before enough. Study enough. Okay, so verb plus enough. Okay, that concludes this. I'm going to do a quick summary. So this is everything that we studied, and you can see that we can use too with nouns, and it's too much plus uncountable nouns, and too many plus the countable noun. For example, he has too much candy. As a pronoun, we say too much is the uncountable noun, and too many is a countable noun. So for example, he has too much. With adjectives, we say too plus the adjective. So for example, the sleeves are too long. The adjective is long. With adverbs, we say too plus adverb. So for example, the snail crawls too slowly. Slowly is the adverb. With verbs, we say verb plus too much. It has to be too much. For example, he ate too much. The verb is ate. Okay, if I use enough with nouns, I say enough plus nouns. Okay, for example, she didn't drink enough water. Water is the noun. If I use it with a pronoun, we say enough is the noun, equals a noun. So for example, he didn't eat enough. Enough is what? Enough is food. If I use it with adjectives, then it's adjective plus enough. Enough follows the adjective. For example, his bag was big enough. Okay, we can see that enough comes after big. If I use it with adverbs, then the enough comes after the adverb. The adverb comes first. For example, he didn't run fast enough. Here, fast is the adverb and it comes before enough. And if I use it with verbs, I say verb plus enough. Verb comes before enough. He didn't study enough. Well, that's my presentation. That concludes my presentation. If you have any thoughts, questions, or concerns, please email me, and thank you for watching.